while I was there, they pumped me with 5 bags full of fluid, and it took, I think it took, I don't know, it was a couple hours to get all the fluid in me. In 2009, I went to Effingham, Illinois, and did a half iron race up there. And let's just say we call that Death Race 2009. It was the hottest day of the year, and about 50% of the people in the race DNF'd. Right after the race, I started to cramp up really, really bad, full body cramping. I tried to get in the car, and my legs, sitting in that seated position, my legs just locked up. I started walking toward the medical folks, and I got about halfway there before I started feeling really dizzy and woozy. And the race director pulled up to me on his scooter, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I looked at him like, "I don't think so." And within 2 seconds, I was puking all over his scooter. The EMTs kept giving me water and trying to cool me down, and I had drank so much on the bike. I had 7 bottles of fluid on a 2-hour and 25-minute bike ride, and then on the run, I drank probably 2 to 3 cups of fluid at every aid station, which there was one every mile. So I had tons of fluid in me. Eventually, it was maybe like an hour later, felt good enough to get in the car to start the drive home. We got about 20 minutes up the road, and I started cramping like crazy again. I thought I was gonna throw up. We got another 5 minutes down the road. I told my buddy, I was like, just take me to the closest ER. While I was there, they pumped me with 5 bags full of fluid, and it took a couple hours to get all the fluid in me. And then all of a sudden, I was hungry, and I had to use the bathroom, and I was right as rain. I mean, nothing, like nothing had ever happened. It was a hard lesson learned that day. 2011, I started having issues in short course races. So I'd be doing a race that was a little bit over an hour, and I'd finish, and the life would just drain out of me. And I spent a lot of time with the medical personnel in our local area. I remember doing several bike races where I would get done with the race, and I'd start screaming at my teammates to go get me fluids and ice, because I knew if I stopped pedaling that I was gonna start cramping up. The post-exercise, post-race issues stuck around, and they seemed to get worse actually over the next couple of years. And it kind of got to the point where I couldn't even do a 45-minute criterium without getting done and being completely drained. I mean, to the point of getting dizzy, heart rate out of control. Even my hearing would you'd get muffled hearing and stuff like that. And it got to the point where it was really concerning. And so in 2016, I started really diving into the research on hydration, and I started to mix my own bottles. I bought all the pieces and parts online, and I started mixing my own sports drink, essentially. In 2017, I had enough and started going online, and I was searching for a test. And so I was just searching and searching. I was like, there's got to be a way to test to see what kind of sodium content people need, or what kind of electrolyte content is leaving the body, or something. And that's how I came across Precision Hydration. After looking things over on their website, I immediately contacted them, and I got a response pretty quickly. And come to find out, the founder of Precision Hydration, Andy, he had the same issues that I've had. So it was kind of like finally somebody understands me. Finally somebody understands what I've been dealing with for this long. And we had a couple of really good conversations, and we just thought it was just a no-brainer to bring to bring this equipment, this testing equipment, to the Mid-South and try to help the athletes in the area who, we deal with some of the nastiest temperatures and humidity in the country. So for us, it was an opportunity to really help people. After we ended up getting the testing equipment, I was actually the first one that we tested, and lo and behold, I turned over what's considered to be a very high sweat sodium concentration. So I'm actually losing close to 1.5 grams, so 1,500 milligrams, for every liter of sweat that I lose. And I've calculated on my own, on some pretty hot days, I've calculated sweat rates of close to 3 liters an hour. So you can imagine how much electrolyte I'm just dumping out of my system. It wasn't a surprise to me, but it was just kind of like closure to an issue that I've had for, going on 7-8 years. I'm super excited to report that after getting my electrolytes where they need to be, I've had 0 issues. Last year, I raced probably more short course than I ever have, and I had no issues at all. And I actually inevitably performed better in hot races than I ever have in my entire life. At this point in February, almost March of 2018, we've already tested over 100 athletes. We've had people actually come from other areas to get tested. We've tested teams, we've tested groups. It's probably one of my favorite performance enhancing things that we do here at BPC, because I just know how terrible it is to deal with this stuff. We've had people that come in and say they've just given up. They've given up on, exercising for more than an hour, or they've given up on even trying to do a half or full Ironman or a marathon or ride 100 miles because they can't get 2 hours without cramping. Or they just want to ride with their kids, or they want to, they want to do these longer activities, but they just can't make it that long without having some sort of an issue. So it is an absolute privilege to be able to help these people and help them see their goals happen.